Thank you, Chairman Ryan. I'd like to thank Chairman Ryan and Chairman Murray for convening this Budget Committee conference. And I can agree with Senator Johnson that we both worked in manufacturing and that we both think that getting back to focusing on economic growth and jobs is a top priority. My hope is that as we work together in this conference committee, we will find ways to end the disagreements and differences that have recently shut the government and instead focus on the things that we all agree we want to do together, which is to grow the economy, create good jobs, and reduce our deficits. And the challenges facing us are well documented and widely known. But if we're going to get back to working together on creating jobs and reducing our deficits, we've got to start by figuring out what we do really agree on so we can find common ground and move forward. That's the way Delawareans ask me every day to work here in Washington. So I'd like to just briefly outline what I think are the priorities that actually unite us. We can safely agree we do all want to grow the economy, to grow good jobs and grow federal revenue. After the collapse of 2008 to 2009, we've had 40 straight quarters of consecutive job growth, but our recovery is still fragile. The national unemployment rate, as several senators and congressmen have said, is far too high. We've got 32,000 unemployed in Delaware, but more than 11 million nationwide, and we've got record rates of poverty and of income inequality that are serious challenges. In all of this, economic growth has to be our North Star. As many of us know, if we grow our economy just 1 percentage point more, we would not just reduce our deficit more than $500 billion over a decade, but we would grow 1 million new jobs. So what are the things we could agree on to grow the economy? First, replacing the harmful effects of the sequester. CBO estimates sequester will cost 750,000 jobs this year and even more damage next year. Second, invest in a skilled workforce. Work in partnership with the private sector to deal with significant workforce skills deficits. There were 600,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs this past year. We need to work together to train our workers. Third, research and development, as several members have said, is absolutely critical to our long-term competitiveness. R&D generates new ideas, new products, in some cases whole new industries, fueling our ability to compete successfully with other countries. Finally, we have a crumbling infrastructure. As we all know, there are far too many highways, ports, tunnels, bridges that are critical to our economic growth, that are well below international standards. We have to invest in order to grow. But frankly, most importantly, we can all agree. Coming to some agreement in a reasonable time frame is probably the most important thing this committee can do to help grow our economy. And doing it on a timeline that allows the Appropriations Committee to then deliver a result without shutting down the government or putting it at any risk is about the best thing we could do. I will agree, though, that we can't simply grow our way out of our problems. We do have to address the drivers of our debt and deficits. We have to continue to reduce our deficits, which we've cut in half over the last 4 years. If we don't, interest expense is a very real threat for crowding out both public and private investment in education, in R&D, and in infrastructure. Over the last 3 years, we've made real strides in reducing our deficits. We've saved more than $2.5 trillion. Yet that's been really unbalanced. About 70% of it has been from spending cuts, while only about 30% from revenue. We need to do more, but we have to do it, I believe, in a balanced way. We've heard from several senators about the need to modernize the tax code, about the need to move towards real tax reform. And while this committee can't get all of that done, we can move in that direction in a substantial way. Making a modest cut of only 5% of the $1 trillion a year we spend through the tax code would make a huge dent in our deficits. Last, we do have to continue to make some reductions in direct spending, although I'll note that's the areas that has taken the hardest hit, and I will insist on doing so in a way that puts a circle of protection around the most vulnerable in our country and that honors our promises to our seniors, to our veterans, and to those about to retire to protect them from harmful cuts. Chairman Ryan, Chairman Murray, I'm glad we've come together. I think we need to focus not on our areas of disagreement, but on priorities we all share, focusing on growth, replacing sequester, reducing the deficit, and ensuring our long-term prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you.